Okay, so the most important thing when we're doing stage 1 of a revere collar is to mark in your notch. Make sure you mark in your notch on your revere, on your lapel on the front and on the back. Super, super important. That is like one of the major marking points when you match together your seams. When you think about your lapel and your collar, those two seams there need to match each other, and that point there is super, super important. You will also need to mark out the notch on the end of your top collar as well on both sides, because these two notches will need to match each other. And the same with your under collar. Make sure they're marked out top and bottom. Singly most important notch on your whole revere collar is that notch, okay? So thinking about where they match, that's how they're going to match together. Those seams are going to match together. The next thing we need to do is we need to mark up that corner so that we know where we're going to stitch. We're literally going to follow the line. We need to mark up on the wrong side, okay? So I'm going to use my pattern making ruler, mark in my one, and it's just on the corner. Literally it's just on the corner. You don't need to go too much down the seam allowance, because you know you've got a 1 centimetre seam allowance, but you need to get yourself that really nice corner. So mark it up so you've got a nice line to follow just into that corner. Mark them up on both, because you never know which side you're going to trace in. Cover all your bases. Okay, so you want a really sweet corner on both of those, so that when we're drawing together and when we're stitching them together, you can follow the line, okay? Now, knowing that we want that to match with that and that to match with that, we are then going to match up those notches, fold them back on themselves and match them up. What you will notice that you've got a convex curve and a concave curve, and you have to make them meet together, which means you need to be stretching one side back onto the other side, okay? We're going to, first of all, use some double-sided sticky tape, not paper scissors. Please don't be using cutting double-sided sticky tape with my fabric scissors. That will make me get winter. Use the fabric one. I mean the paper ones that I've got there. See how I'm putting double-sided sticky tape in that seam allowance? Okay. And then I'm going to peel him off. I'm going to match up my notch for a start. The notches match the notches. Those two notches match that underside and top side. And then I'm going to pull it around and then keep moving it. Okay, what you'll find when it gets to the end is that crossover point should be at your 1 centimetre seam allowance. Okay, so make sure that's at your 1 centimetre seam allowance. It'll be tricky because you're pushing a concave onto a convex curve, so let's just get some more double-sided. Do the same on the other side. Start by matching up your notch for a start, notch onto notch, and then work your way around that curve, making sure it goes into place. Okay, and that is stage 1 completed.